August in Hanoi can be a little unpredictable. One moment the sky is bright, and the next, the rain starts pouring down. And lately, I feel like my mood has been a little like the weather too. Some days I wake up feeling motivated, like I know exactly what I want to do. And on other days, I just feel a little lost. Maybe that's just part of growing up. Thanks for being here. I'm too. And if you're new here, welcome to another ordinary day of my life in Vietnam. Today, Hanoi decided to start the day with a storm. It has been raining heavily for almost 2 hours now. During the summer months, heavy rain like this isn't unusual in Hanoi. Sometimes it comes suddenly, lasts for an hour or two, and completely changes the rhythm of the city. I decided to go downstairs and see what things looked like outside. The first person I noticed was one of the cleaning ladies in my building. She's been mopping the lobby again and again. Whenever someone walks in from the rain, they bring water in with them, making the floor wet and slippery. It's such a small thing, and most of us probably walk past without thinking about it. But while everyone else is trying to stay dry, someone still has to clean up after the storm. Looking outside, there aren't many motorbikes on the road right now. Most of the vehicles passing by are cars. When the rain gets this heavy, a lot of motorbike riders in Hanoi simply pull over and find somewhere to wait. Even with a raincoat, you can still end up completely soaked, and when visibility becomes poor, continuing to ride can be dangerous. So sometimes the smartest thing to do is nothing at all. Just wait. Ride-hailing cars and taxis also become especially useful on days like this. But when the weather gets bad and demand suddenly increases, getting a ride can sometimes become more difficult and more expensive. I walk a little farther outside, and this is what the road looks like, flooded. After nearly 2 hours of heavy rain, the water still hasn't drained away. This is something people in Hanoi are quite familiar with. Despite being a rapidly developing city, some areas can still experience localized flooding when very heavy rain overwhelms the drainage system. In some low-lying areas, water can rise quickly, making traffic extremely difficult. The city has been upgrading drainage infrastructure to improve the situation. But during intense storms, flooding can still be part of life here. For motorbike riders, this isn't just inconvenient. Driving through deep water can cause the engine to stall. So many people would rather stop and wait for the water to go down. Under the bridge, I see several motorbike taxi drivers waiting together for the rain to stop. Whenever I see scenes like this, I'm reminded of how difficult outdoor work can be. In Vietnam, motorbike taxi and delivery work isn't limited to one type of person. You'll see young students earning extra money, middle-aged men supporting their families, and women working long hours on the road too. On sunny days, they work under the heat. On rainy days, they wait under bridges, shop awnings, or anywhere they can find shelter. Everyone has their own reason for working. Bills to pay, families to support, plans for the future. Sometimes when I'm worried about my own life, seeing people quietly working through difficult days reminds me that everyone is carrying something we can't see. Eventually, the rain begins to stop, but the water hasn't disappeared yet, and then I see these kids. For adults, a flooded road is a problem. For children, apparently it's a swimming pool. Watching them play suddenly reminds me of my own childhood. When I was little, rain never meant staying indoors. It meant calling my friends, running outside, playing in the water, and coming home completely soaked. Of course, the fun usually ended the moment my parents saw me. Sometimes we'd get scolded, and sometimes we'd get punished. But somehow, those are still some of the memories I remember most fondly. Maybe that's one of the strange things about growing up. When we're children, we can't wait to become adults. We think being grown up means freedom. And then one day, we finally grow up and realize how precious those carefree years actually were. No bills, no career pressure, no worrying about whether we're falling behind. Just friends, rain, and the feeling that tomorrow was something we never needed to worry about. Watching these kids today, I kind of miss that version of myself. When I get back home, I look outside again, and somehow the city already feels different. The rain has washed everything clean. The air feels cooler, the trees look greener. And for a moment, Hanoi seems unusually quiet. I don't know why, but rainy days always make me a little more thoughtful. Maybe I'm just that kind of person. On days like this, I could sit by the window for hours, watching the rainfall, listening to the sound of it hitting the glass, with one of my favorite songs playing quietly in the background. And honestly, I wouldn't get bored. There's something comforting about it. Most days, we're always doing something. Thinking about work, thinking about money, thinking about what we should do next. Sometimes we're so busy worrying about tomorrow that we don't really notice today. But when it rains, everything seems to slow down. And somehow, I slow down with it. I notice the sound of the rain, the smell of the air, the wind coming through the window. Even the silence in my room feels different. Maybe we don't always need to escape from quiet moments. Sometimes we need them. And just a few hours later, look at this. I can't believe this is the same day. This morning, the rain was pouring down and some of the streets were flooded. Now, the sky is brighter, the air feels fresh, and there's even a little sunlight coming through. Hanoi weather really does change its mind quickly. And apparently, so do I, because staying inside suddenly feels like a waste. So I decided to go for a walk. There's a park not far from where I live, and that's where I'm heading today. It's still during working hours, so there aren't many people here yet, which I actually really like. I've always been drawn to places with lots of trees. Nothing fancy, just grass, flowers, trees moving gently in the wind, and enough space to breathe. Maybe the older I get, the more I realize how much I enjoy simple things. As I walk farther inside, I notice one of the gardeners working. She's pulling weeds, clearing away dead leaves, and taking care of the plants. It's another kind of work that we rarely notice. We come here, see beautiful trees, clean paths, green lawns, and simply enjoy them. But somewhere behind all of that are people spending their days planting, cleaning, watering, and taking care of this place. Maybe beautiful places don't stay beautiful by accident. Someone is always quietly taking care of them. There's also a large playground here for children. I really like the way this park is designed. The kids have plenty of space to run around and play, while their parents can sit nearby, rest on the grass, or simply spend time with them. And after what I saw this morning, I think I've seen enough evidence today that children and water are impossible to separate. And this was probably the part I wasn't expecting. There's actually a large artificial beach inside the park, sand, water, palm trees, and children playing along the shore. For a moment, it doesn't really feel like I'm in the middle of Hanoi. Some of the grandparents are sitting nearby, watching the kids play while the children are completely lost in their own little world. It's such an ordinary scene, but I really like it. Because when you look at places like this, you realize good urban spaces are only about looking beautiful. They're about giving people somewhere to live a little, somewhere children can make memories, somewhere parents can rest, somewhere grandparents can spend time with their grandchildren, and somewhere someone like me can come on a random afternoon, just to clear her mind. Maybe that's why I don't feel bored walking around here. There's always something happening, even when nothing is really happening. The wind moving through the trees, children laughing somewhere in the distance, people walking slowly along the water. After such a chaotic morning, this feels like a completely different Hanoi. There's also a small fish pond here. The management even encouraged residents to bring leftover rice to feed the fish. I think it's a lovely idea. Instead of wasting food, it can become something useful and bring a little more life to the park. It's a small detail, but I really like it. I keep walking around for a little while. The more time I spend here, the more I understand why I like this area so much. It's not just the apartment buildings, it's the trees, the open spaces, and all these little places where people can relax and enjoy their day. Sometimes I wonder if I'll ever be able to afford a home here. Right now, probably not. But maybe one day. For now, I'll just keep working toward it and enjoy the walk. At least this part is free. Okay, I think that's enough life thinking for one afternoon. All this walking has made me thirsty, so I'm going to get something to drink. And if you've spent any time in Vietnam, there's a pretty good chance you've seen this little snowman before. This is Mix Su. Mix Su is a Chinese ice cream and tea chain, but it has become extremely popular in Vietnam. One of the biggest reasons is probably the price. You can get ice cream, milk tea, fruit tea, and other drinks without spending very much. That's why you'll often see students here, young workers, families, and sometimes even older customers. It's simple, affordable, and there seems to be a Mix Su almost everywhere now. Today, I'm keeping it simple. I ordered an orange drink. After walking around for so long, something cold and fruity sounds perfect. I don't know if it's because of the weather, the walk, or just my mood, but this afternoon turned out much better than I expected. This morning, I was standing outside watching flooded streets, and now I'm sitting here with a cold drink. After walking through a beautiful park, same day. Completely different feeling. Maybe that's another little reminder. Not to judge an entire day by how it begins. By the time I finish my drink, it's already getting dark. And after all that walking, I'm getting hungry. So there's one last thing I want to share with you today. Food. And tonight, I'm having one of my favorite dishes from northern Vietnam. Bánh Hải Phòng. If you ever visit northern Vietnam, this is definitely something I think you should try at least once. Before the food arrives, let me show you what's already on the table. There are chilies, pickled garlic, pepper, and a few different seasonings. So you can adjust the flavor however you like. This is something you'll see. In a lot of Vietnamese noodle shops, everyone likes their bowl a little differently. Some people want it spicy, some want it sour, and some people apparently want enough chili to forget all their problems. I'm not one of those people. The menu actually has quite a lot of choices. Besides bánh cua, they also serve porridge, hot pot, and several other dishes. But I came here for one thing, so that's what I'm getting. A traditional bowl costs 50,000 dong, about $2. And the fully loaded version is 65,000 dong, about $250. I'm getting both today, so I can show you the difference. And here it is, look at this. There's so much going on in one bowl. Before I start eating, let me show you what's inside. Of course, underneath everything are the bánh noodles. They're flat, slightly chewy, and have this distinctive reddish-brown color. Then we have the crab, which gives the broth that rich and savory flavor. There are also plenty of greens, which help balance out all the richer flavors in the bowl. And because I ordered the fully loaded version, there are even more toppings: shrimp, mantis shrimp, fish cake, and several other little things hiding underneath. Honestly, I'm not even sure where to start. And then there's the broth. It's rich, savory, slightly sweet with that distinctive flavor from the crab. Everything is served together in one big, steaming bowl. On a cool evening after the rain, this is exactly what I want. Okay, time to eat. While I'm eating, let me tell you a little more about what makes this dish special. Bánh cua is a specialty from Hải Phòng, a port city in northern Vietnam, and it's probably one of the dishes most closely associated with the city. One of the things that makes it immediately recognizable is the noodles, unlike the white rice noodles you usually see in pho. Bánh traditionally uses these reddish-brown rice noodles. They're soft, but still slightly chewy, so they hold up really well in the hot broth. And of course, the other important part is the crab. The broth has a deep, savory flavor, but it doesn't feel too heavy. Add the noodles, vegetables, crab, and all the different toppings, and every bite has a little bit of everything. Although the dish comes from Haiphong, you don't have to travel there just to try it. Today, you can find bánh in many places across northern Vietnam, including here in Hanoi. Of course, if you ever visit Haiphong, trying it in its hometown would probably be even better. I've had barbecue many times, and I still really enjoy it, especially on a cooler day like today. The noodles are chewy, the broth is warm and flavorful, and with all these toppings, one bowl is definitely enough for me. It's funny when I think about how today started. Heavy rain, flooded streets, everyone trying to find somewhere to hide from the storm. And now, I'm sitting here enjoying a hot bowl of bánh. Same city, same day, completely different feeling. Maybe that's one thing I like about days like this. You never really know how they're going to end.